What is up, you guys? It is Zach, and welcome back to my channel on my birthday. First of all, today's ZakPak's birthday. I am officially 24 years old, so I just wanted to plug that in there a little bit. But that's not what we're talking about today. We are officially halfway into 2022, and there are already lots of games, lots of great games that have come out so far, from Nintendo and otherwise. Personally, there hasn't really been too much for me, but I know that many people have been enjoying games like Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and even Mario Strikers Battle League, among many others. So today, I wanted to hold a Game of the Half-Year celebration for the game that has come out this year that I have personally enjoyed the most. Of course, this is my own personal opinion, and of course, since we're only halfway into the year, this opinion could change for the Game of the Year for, the other half of the year. But we will get there when we get there. So, my Game of the Year isn't Mario Strikers, or Switch Sports, or Kirby, or honestly, any Nintendo game. My Game of the Half Year is... Editing, Zach. Where's the drum roll? Ah, thank you. Anyways, my Game of the Half Year is... The Quarry. Now, before you click off this video because it isn't a Nintendo or Nickelodeon game, I really want you to hear this because this game is a gem of a game that I think everybody should play. And I won't have any spoilers for those of you who are concerned about that, as me spoiling the game would just ruin the fun for you, and I don't want to do that, because the whole point of this game is to showcase it, talk about it a bit, and try to convince you to give it a play. So I'll just go over the story pretty vaguely without revealing too much information. Okay, so here's the story. There's a camp called Hackett's Quarry in the middle of upstate New York, and after all of the kiddies go home from camp, some weird things start to happen, which I won't get too into. What I will get into is that there are 9 camp counselors that you take control of during your adventure. There's Laura, Max, Jacob, Caitlin, Emma, Abigail, Nick, Dylan, and Ryan. Their fates are all in your hands, and any mistakes you make can either do absolutely nothing at all and make no difference, or cause characters to get killed. The decisions you make in this game, as with Until Dawn, really do matter, and I figured out the hard way. I managed to accidentally get 6 of the 9 counselors killed, which you can watch on my gameplay stream of this game that's up on the channel if you haven't watched it, and I'm very upset that I managed to get 2/3 of the cast killed. Now, the gameplay isn't quite for everyone, but if you are a huge fan of 80s horror movies and interactive adventures, then I highly suggest it. If you've watched things like In Space with Markiplier, then this is really up your alley. It's kind of the same deal. You choose your own adventure and your decisions really matter. And the gameplay not always being gameplay, it's like half cutscenes, half walking around and looking for clues. It's still very engaging, very fun, very spooky, and honestly, pretty scary as well. One thing that this game does so well is honestly making the characters interesting. As much as I loved Until Dawn, the characters were pretty stereotypical. Mike being the jock, Chris being the nerd, Jess being the pretty mean girl, etc, etc. In The Quarry, while the characters do have some stereotypical traits, they have more depth to them. For example, Dylan loves science, Ryan likes the paranormal, Abby likes to draw, etc, etc. You learn more about their hobbies, their interests, and you see more of the traits of these characters than you really ever did with the characters from Until Dawn, and it makes them feel a little more human to me. And that got me super attached to the characters, knowing their interests, their aspirations, what they wanted to be, what they wanted to do. It made me feel more for the characters, making me want them to actually be able to achieve their dreams and not die a tragic, horrible death. In Until Dawn, Sam and Chris were the only characters that I actually legitimately had any kind of feelings for and liked. But in The Quarry, I legitimately liked every single character in this game. Of course, some more than others, but I at least felt an attachment to every single character and wanted every single one of them to come out alive. Not that I've ever wanted any characters to die before in one of these games, cough cough Emily. But yeah, the characters are great. I also really love the story. Again, I don't want to go too much into it, but as per normal, there are lots of twists and turns and things you weren't expecting. There are points in this game where I was questioning myself, questioning choices I made, questioning choices I'm about to make, really debating in my head, is this the right move? and it really hooked me into the gameplay. Yes, the monsters and the scares were amazing, but I personally really enjoyed the story. I know this isn't something that a lot of people thought was the strongest point, but I really liked it. I thought it was engaging and really interesting. Also, being that I was a camp counselor, I was a Boy Scout, camp counselor all those years ago, well, all those years ago being like 3 or 4 years ago, I felt this experience. This felt like being at camp. The romantic tension between the counselors, the settings, all the cabins, the lodge, everything just felt like it fit the summer camp vibe. They pulled it off really well. Of course, they were pulling inspiration from like Friday the 13th and other, horror movies like that here, but it really worked. The setting is immaculate. There are a few nitpicks I have about this game. They replaced the Don't Move segments from Until Dawn, which I really liked because they added a lot of tension, with these Don't Breathe segments. And while there definitely still is tension there with the way your controller vibrates, it's not as tense just because of how simple and easy the Don't Breathe segments are. Basically, all you have to do is hold down the A button until the screen tells you not to. That's really all that is, and it's a little bit underwhelming. I would have liked something a little more intense, maybe even because obviously since the Xbox doesn't have motion controls, they couldn't do a Don't Move segment, but I do think they could have done the heartbeat segment that was in the Dark Pictures anthology. I think that would have worked really well here. And of course, it would have been more tense because it's all about timed button presses, so I think that could have worked better. So overall, this is such a great package, such a great game. Sure, $60-$70 is a lot for this game, given that it's only about 8 to 9 hours to complete, but honestly, it's replayable. There's a movie mode, so if you really do like this game, you could play it as a movie. You can bring friends over, play it as a movie. There's local couch co-op, and there's going to be online co-op soon, so you can play this game with your friends. There's a lot in this game. There's a lot of content, the characters are interesting, the music is god tier. That is why this is my game of the half year. So I would like to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified of when I upload videos. And check out the merch store. There's some cool ZakPak merch up on there for you to check out. And until next time, you guys, I'll see you all in the next video.